My name is Grace Kuto, and I was born and raised in Kenya, East Africa. And I've been in Oregon for over 30 years now. I first came here as an international student at Portland State University, September of 1976. So it's a long time ago, but I'm still here. And when I first came out here, I just wanted to get further education and go back home to help my country develop. My husband Paul and myself have been associated with Good Samaritan Ministries since late 80s. I'm trying to remember how we met Mama Betty, but someone did tell us about Good Samaritan Ministries, and we just came to the location, introduced ourselves, and since then we've been together in ministry. We started coming out, doing some volunteer work at Good Samaritan Ministries here at the Beaverton office. And over the years, we just saw the difference this ministry is making around the world, not just in Africa, but around the world. And we were really inspired to be part of the ministry. When I visited Kenya in 1990, I decided I wanted to see where the African headquarters is in Kenya. So I visited Oranga in 1990. And again, I was really inspired with the ministry there. And from the time I visited Oranga, I told them, please bring this ministry to my village. This year, August of this year, when we were in Kenya, 11 of us volunteering in my village, we were able to open a new ministry of Good Samaritan Ministries in our village. I think that is the newest ministry opened in Africa. Our youngest daughter, who is 26 years old now, was right there at the opening. And she is so inspired to come back and start raising money for scholarships for the young children that will be part of that ministry in my village. So our children have grown in this life, become Samaritans themselves, and we pray that their own children become Samaritans as well. And that's why I talk about once you're a Samaritan, always a Samaritan. And that's just how we have experienced it. I believe what inspired us the most about GSM work is just the fact that when GSM starts work somewhere, anywhere, at least what we have experienced in this work, they stay with it. They stay with it. For example, the scholarships that they've created for young people in Africa, for our example in Kenya, I know that when they send a child to school, they stay with that child. What has inspired me most about that particular piece in terms of education, which is extremely important in any African country. It is the key out of poverty for most African countries. And when they send a child to school, they stay with that child until that child has attained education enough to come out to the community and start contributing to the community in a positive way and inspire others to go to school. So the relationship between a Samaritan and those that they serve, it's really a personal relationship, not just service ministry oriented. The lives that are involved on both ends are human lives. And so as a Samaritan brings service to those they serve, they too are receiving in the way that God is helping them to grow as servants to His people. And so it's a two-way relationship. And because of the approach to this service, many relationships are formed and they're sustained through that service. Just as human relationships that really God blesses through the service itself. My hope is that this ministry never goes away, never dies. This year, we celebrated Mama Betty's retirement. And as I went through that experience, my prayer was we continue that legacy through serving people all over the world as Good Samaritans. We can be thinking of ways we can become part of this legacy. It's not just serving others, it's also allowing our own potential within ourselves to grow as citizens of the world in giving to others and being good neighbors to each other. And I believe that if many more of us would do that, and just be a good Samaritan, be a good Samaritan to your neighbor, it will be a much better world. So if you cannot come out and volunteer at Good Samaritan Ministries, you can be a volunteer in your own home. But of course, it will make a much bigger difference if you came out and become part of this ministry.